But anyway, let's check this out. RapAHolics, Spotify destroys Drake over his lawsuit.
Heating up in the corporate battle between Drake and the biggest players in the music industry. It used to be a 20v1, Drake versus every single rapper in the industry, but now the biggest streaming platform and the biggest record label have been added to Drizzy's op list. So let's dive into the legal battle between Drake and Spotify. Let's unpack everything Drake accused Spotify of and how Spotify has defended themselves in order to avoid a lawsuit from the King OVHO. So why did Drake file this petition to begin with?
King OVHO.
Well, it was filed against Universal Music Group because he believed UMG had been actively sabotaging his reputation and career. The main issue revolves obviously around Kendrick's song Not Like Us, which Drake claims was deliberately boosted by UMG to overshadow his own music and harm his image. According to Drake, the song contains subtle but damaging critiques of him, and UMG allegedly inflated its streaming numbers using...
Oh shit. That was the skit. This skit right here.
Damaging critiques of him, and UMG...
That skit is so fucking funny, dude. El Drake. That shit is so funny to me. I think Curtis King said something about this the other day where like this this lawsuit would sort of set a precedent for almost any rapper to be able to sue the label for defamation if you know, even just talking about like their record sales. I think that's what he was saying. And I kind of have to agree with that, you know.
He allegedly inflated its streaming numbers using illegitimate means, like bots and artificial promotion tactics. Beyond that, Drake accuses UMG of having a financial incentive to promote Kendrick Lamar's song.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk too much about the Drake and Kendrick thing at all. The thing that was claimed, I don't know if it was in the petition for the lawsuit or whatever, but or the petition to UMG from Drake. There's a discovery mode for like every artist out there, or not every artist. I think you have to have like a certain amount of monthly listeners or some shit. You got to be bigger than us, right? And basically what it is, it'll put you in strategic places. Excuse me. It'll put you in strategic places on the app, you know, be it visually or just automatically through the algorithm. And they'll take a cut of your, they take a cut of like all your royalties or whatever. And they do that. And, you know, they just promote you more. You know what I mean? You get more streams, but, you know, less money for them or whatever.
Over his music.
And hey, I guess it works, dude. I guess it fucking works. How about that?
He claims that UMG gave Spotify discounted licensing fees in exchange for promoting not...
Yeah, there he's saying it now.
Music. He claims that UMG gave Spotify discounted licensing fees in exchange for promoting Not Like Us more prominently on their platform. In other words, Drake believes that UMG essentially paid Spotify to make Kendrick's song appear more popular than it truly was.
I think that that's like I said, it's a new thing that Spotify does, and I think it's an option for whoever has that option through the distributor. I don't even think it has anything to do with UMG. I don't think it has anything to do with Kendrick. I think it has more to do with whoever is distributing it. I think that's where the option actually comes into play. You know what I mean? Or maybe not even the distributor. Maybe it's, again, dude, this is an option for like higher tier artists. Maybe that option is like somewhere like in the Spotify artist section. You know what I mean?
But Drake's accusations also go deeper. He suggests that the executives at Interscope Records, which is a label under UMG, benefited financially from these actions, prioritizing Kendrick's success over fairness to their other artists, including Drake. Shortly after the legal actions were released, a UMG spokesperson slammed the accusations, saying the suggestion that UMG would do anything to undermine one of his artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethical practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns.
Is
No
that a
amount of
fact?
contrived or absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music that they want to hear. Basically saying that no matter how
That's
many
true, too.
lawsuits Drake files, he can't hide the fact that Not Like Us was organically popular because people just flat out wanted to hear it more than Drake songs. But now, while UMG quickly responded to these petitions, Spotify remained silent. And if you guys don't remember, Drake's petitions against UMG extended to Spotify as he accused the platform of enabling and participating in practices that distorted the streaming industry's fairness and transparency. His claim centered on how Spotify allegedly aided UMG in boosting Kendrick's Not Like Us to the detriment of Drake's own releases. So let's break down the core allegations in detail. The first one being artificial inflation of streaming metrics. Drake accuses Spotify of turning a blind eye to streaming manipulation orchestrated by UMG for Kendrick's Not Like Us. He alleged that UMG leveraged bot traffic to inflate the song's streams, falsely boosting its rankings on the platform and creating the illusion of massive popularity. Drake's legal team claimed that Spotify's anti-fraud mechanisms were either ineffective or deliberately disabled to allow this to happen. For instance, Drake highlighted unusual streaming spikes for Kendrick's song during late hours when listener activity would normally decrease in key markets like the US. His team also cited irregular streaming activity in regions where Kendrick's music historically underperformed, suggesting that this was a part of a coordinated manipulation effort. Drake claimed that this gave Kendrick's music an unfair advantage on Spotify, particularly when compared to his own music. Another aspect of his allegations against Spotify was the favoritism that they showed in playlist placements. Another major accusation from Drake focused on Spotify's alleged bias in promoting Kendrick Lamar over him. He claimed that Not Like Us was given disproportionate exposure through Spotify's curated playlists, including high-profile lists like Rap Caviar and Today's Top Hits. He argued that such placement, combined with the prominent visibility on the app's homepage and banners, resulted from a calculated strategy to push Kendrick's music. Drake also stated that his own songs were deliberately sidelined, receiving fewer playlist spots and less
Only
promotional
Drake can be
attention,
calculated.
despite being more popular with listeners. He alleged that this preferential treatment for Kendrick skewed the perception of popularity, ultimately damaging his own reputation and metrics. Central to Drake's allegations was the claim that Spotify and UMG had struck a covert agreement to prioritize UMG's artists, especially Kendrick Lamar, in exchange for reduced licensing fees. Drake described this alleged arrangement as a quid pro quo, which gave UMG an unfair advantage over other labels and artists. He argued that this kind of deal undermined the neutrality of Spotify's platform, leading to biased promotion and visibility. According to Drake, this wasn't just a business issue.
I don't know.
It distorted the entire ecosystem of music streaming, harming artists like him who weren't part of UMG's alleged favor system. Finally, Drake claimed that Spotify's
Again, I don't think it's a UMG favor system, especially if it's if the streams are like disproportionate as far as there's probably way more on Spotify than anywhere else. Again, it's probably through the Spotify artist thing, and the people working with Kendrick now, with as far as like PG Lang and stuff, they would know like little things like that, like. Because, again, that's, like, pretty cutting edge and new. And, they would, since it's Kendrick, they'd have access to it. And since they're running, like, a pretty new independent label, they would know about this kind of shit. This is literally the kind of shit that they talk about on, like, those music advice podcasts. Those terrible music advice podcasts.
Actions caused measurable harm to his career. He argued that manipulated streams and biased promotion for Kendrick's Not Like Us misled fans and industry stakeholders into believing that Kendrick was outperforming him. This, Drake alleged, impacted his standing with radio programmers, concert organizers, and brand sponsors who rely on streaming data to make decisions. Spotify remained silent on the matter for about 2.5 weeks, all the way up until December 20th, 2024, where they issued a response that was a direct rebuttal to each of Drake's claims, aiming to disprove his allegations while defending the integrity of their own streaming platform. So let's go through a detailed summary of Spotify's key points. Number one is Drake has no evidence of streaming manipulation. regulation. Spotify categorically denied any involvement in or tolerance of fraudulent streaming practices. They explained that their platform employs sophisticated algorithms and tools designed to detect and eliminate fake streams. These systems analyze a range of metrics such as...
Yeah, dude, they'll delete your shit so fast now and fine you if they find out that you're botting your streams, you know?
User activity patterns, device identifiers, and account behaviors to identify irregularities.
Like, they keep showing French Montana, knowing... Oh, yeah, maybe RapAHolics is funny. Because they keep showing French Montana in these clips. And French Montana had a huge scandal, years ago for botting, like, one of his fucking bullshit songs. So, that's interesting.